afternoon, friends, and thank you very much for being here this afternoon. As is usual, I will update you about the situation in Iraq regarding Indian nationals. Subsequently, if you have any questions on those aspects, I'm willing to answer. And if you have any questions on anything else, I will be also willing to answer those, but in that sequence. Let me start about the situation in Iraq. Since we met yesterday, it's been a difficult time for us both at headquarters in New Delhi as well as for our mission and mission personnel in Iraq. As you are aware, there are two issues of a primary nature. One is issues relating to Indians in the non-conflict zones. I'm happy to inform you that since we met yesterday, the numbers of tickets that are now available for Indians to travel out of Iraq has increased to approximately 900. So 900 Indians have already been provided tickets to fly out of Iraq. Most of them are flying on Iraqi Airways flights where there are seats available. We are booking them to the nearest international airport in India. Yesterday when I mentioned to you, there were issues in Karbala because of a curfew there. Since then, the curfew has been lifted and our mobile teams are now able to work with the immigration authorities to speed up the departure of Indian nationals. We hope by the end of the day to have a more consolidated figure of the number of Indian nationals whose papers have been completed for processing. And that would add to the number of Indian nationals whose tickets are being bought. By our estimation, there are approximately, since the mobile team started working in these three places, that is Karbala, Najaf, and Basra, 1,500 Indians have registered to leave. There are some others who we are working with in terms of their coming to a considered decision on whether they would like to leave or not. As happens in such situations, there is sometimes a wavering of intention. There is sometimes a change in perceptions. So these are normal situations which our officials are working on. We have currently 25 officials deployed in those three places, in those three plus Baghdad. In addition, there are a few Indian nationals who are also in Erbil who have indicated their interest in leaving. We will assist them. These are largely issues related to labor or contractual problem, but however, we are committed, as you are aware, to help every Indian national wherever he or she is in Iraq to depart. And that's about a summary of issues relating to Indian nationals in the non-conflict zone. As regards the Indian nationals in the conflict zone, let me try and focus on the Indian nationals who were in captivity in Mosul. As regards those Indian nationals, we have subsequently also a confirmation of people who have seen them unharmed but in captivity. That brings me to the next question relating to the Indian nationals who are nurses who were in the hospital in Tikrit. My understanding is that approximately a short while ago, they have moved to another location. The Ministry of External Affairs has been in regular touch with our embassy in Baghdad and through the embassy with a variety of interlocutors on the ground. Our understanding is that it is for reasons on interest of their own safety that they have agreed to move out. All of them are safe and unharmed. The External Affairs Minister has been in constant touch with the Kerala Chief Minister all through this morning and has been advising the Indian nationals through our embassy based on her consultations and discussions with the Kerala Chief Minister and a group of his advisors who were here in Delhi. Our embassy is continuing to be in touch with those Indian nurses, even as they are moving to another location. We will, of course, be in constant touch and try our best to ensure their well-being through various channels. I think I will stop here, and if there are any questions, I am willing to answer on issues relating to Indian nationals in Iraq. Yes, sir. Just a minute. Just a minute. We'll bring the mic.
Sir, are we aware about the exact location of the nurses, and is India in touch with them directly?
Yes, my answer to both your questions is that they are on the move right now, and our officials have been in touch, including 10 minutes ago. Just one by one. Yes, Vishal.
Do we infer that the nurses are now in captivity? Are they hostages?
Vishal, in zones of conflict, there is no free will. If your question is that have they moved of their free will, my answer to you is that in zones of conflict, there is no free will. That said, we need to see every difficulty as an opportunity rather than every opportunity as a difficulty. As diplomats, this is what we are trained to work in. Zones of conflict obviously are situations where there are no norms, no rules. But that said, we are in touch, we are working with them. If your question is that they went of their own free will, my answer to you again is that there is no free will in zones of conflict. Yes, ma'am.
सर, लेकिन केरला के चीफ मिनिस्टर का कहना है कि जो नर्सेज हैं वो ISIS के साथ गई हैं, वो कैप्टिव बना के ले गए।
मैं जो माननीय मुख्यमंत्री कह रहे हैं उसके बारे में मैं कुछ जवाब नहीं दे सकता, क्योंकि मैं तो बहुत ही छोटा अफसर हूं इसके बारे में। मैं तो उनके जो उनकी रीडिंग है वो कहेंगे, जो विदेश मंत्रालय की रीडिंग है मैं कह रहा हूं। I have explained to you that they have been moved. I have explained to you that in zones of captivity there are no expressions of free will as we know it in terms of areas which are not zones of conflict. Yes, Anchal?
Sir, so are you saying that we don't know who's taken them? And the second part of the same question, how are we going to continue to be in touch with them if they are with the ISIS militants and they switch off their phones? What's our plan?
Anchal, obviously we are not going to communicate through you. This is not People Live that we need to communicate through you with the nurses. Please understand, this is a situation of grave difficulty. This is a situation where lives are at stake, and you would like to know in advance what are our plans to communicate with them. You would like to know on a minute-by-minute basis what we intend to do. I'm sorry, I am not here either to help you in that endeavor or to undermine the situation of difficulty that already Indian nationals are facing. You may be interested in that, I am not. Yes, ma'am. Pallavi.
There are also reports by the Kerala media, of course, is that the militia has actually taken the nurses to another hospital in that conflict zone in Mosul. Do we have confirmation of that?
All I can say is they are on the road. I do not know what their destinations are. We will confirm to you as these things, confirmed information is available. I don't think there was an announcement of where they were going or what was happening, but all I can tell you is A, they remain safe, they remain unharmed, they are not going of their own free will, and we will continue to keep in touch with them, and their welfare is now of utmost importance to the government of India. As I said, the External Affairs Minister all through this morning was in extremely close consultation with the Kerala Chief Minister. Both of them have worked on this, and based on their understanding and consultations, our mission in Baghdad has advised the nurses to proceed where they are proceeding. Yes, sir. Yes, please take the mic and then I'll answer.
There is a report that 2 nurses got injured.
I can't hear you. Can you speak louder so that everyone hears you?
No, there is a report that 2 nurses got injured in a bomb blast near a hospital. Any information about this?
My understanding was that there was no bomb blast. However, there has been some glass broken and there have been minor injuries to some of those nurses. However, neither these are of a major nature, nor have they been harmed. Yes, Ashish?
So Prime Minister is supposed to have discussed this issue with Senator McCann, sir. Any,
I am not privy to the discussions at that level. Yes, Devirupa?
So I just want a clarification. Did you say that the Indian nurses, before they left Tikrit Hospital, they were advised by the Indian Embassy?
Let me put it again. Those nurses have been in close consultation with the embassy. Also, Tikrit is a situation where the writ of the Iraqi government doesn't run, because Tikrit, the Iraqi army is not in control of Tikrit. Also, we have been in touch with the humanitarian organizations, and they had, in this instance, indicated their inability to reach the nurses given the difficulties in road transport. Taking all these into account and to ensure their safety, we have been in regular touch with them, with the nurses, and the decision to move them is based on an understanding, the outcome to move them is based on the understanding of a situation that we are confronted in, a situation which is not of our choice, a situation which is a difficult one, a situation where the Iraqi government is unable to assist at this stage because they are not in control. Also a situation where humanitarian organizations are unable to proceed and meet them and assist them in any manner. It is all these factors which has resulted in a situation where those nurses have moved. If there are, yes, Sanjay?
So you said the nurses have moved. Who have they gone with, or who have taken them?
Srinjoy, everything need not be said. There are situations where, as responsible officers, we need to ensure that stumbling blocks are changed into stepping stones. We are working on that. The information that we can provide to you is based on the primary goal that we have in mind, that is the well-being of those nurses. And that we will tackle. All other information, I understand, is of, for us, of secondary importance. The main information that we have is that they have moved, that free will is not a situation that we can associate with such a situation, and we are in touch with them and will continue to pursue their well-being. If nobody else has, yes, ma'am.
Just a small clarification. The nurses who are on the move, you are still in touch with them? Are they picking up calls of the Indian Embassy?
I mentioned to you that 10 minutes before I came, we were in touch with them. I cannot give you minute by minute information, but please try to understand. Every day evening we will brief you on the situation. I do understand, as I said, there are some of you who would like to make this into a wall-by-wall commentary. Unfortunately, I don't think that we as the Government of India do not think that this is in anybody's interest to do this and change it into a situation where, because in a war-like situation there is flux. what you may know today may be slightly different from yesterday. Since last night, I received about 25 calls late last night saying that the nurses had already moved. Yet, this morning, they hadn't moved. So please understand that this is a situation of flux. This is a conflict situation, and this is a situation where people will provide different viewpoints. However, we can only provide you with authenticated and corroborated information, and all that information that I have shared with you. Yes, sir.
Was it as per our advice that these nurses moved to the basement of the hospital when some Bangladeshis moved out of the hospital?
I do not know exact details of this. Again, I request you not to get into these details. You will have time and space to respond to these questions when it happens, when everything is over. Because at this stage, if you are going to ask, it's like several of you have told me that here last night they moved. But I am not pointing out any of you who said that, oh, you got it wrong. So in a conflict situation, it is normal to get some information and then to get corrected information. So at this stage, I will not get into an archival mode to try and give you an archive or a timeline of what has happened when, but I will try to give you the trajectory and the broad direction in which we are moving. So please understand that. Beyond that, I am not going to share information which could put the situation of those nurses in danger. No, you've asked your question. No? Yes, no? That's it.
So I understand the fact that many of these are operational details which cannot be shared at this point. But without sharing the specifics, does India know or have an idea of which way or where the nurses might be headed? Even if, I mean, I can understand that cannot be shared publicly, but do we have some idea based on our conversations with the nurses which way they might be headed?
India is not alone in working on this. We have partners. We have partners across Iraq. We also have partners outside Iraq. Let me tell you, we are working in concert with our partners. If nobody has, still Iraq? Yes, ma'am.
How many of the nurses had moved?
I will not be able to give you information, but all. There is nobody who stayed back. I do not want to get into specific numbers because in a situation like this, nobody can be held to account in terms of numbers, but in any case, numbers don't matter. What matters is Indian lives, and my understanding is all of them. Madam, you wanted something? No. If nobody else, then on this? Sure.
If my understanding is correct, before they moved, External Affairs Minister and CM both decided that they should be advised to move.
I will not get into confidence. Let me explain to you how we work this out. Since yesterday, all our officials are in regular touch. The Chief Minister of Kerala is in Delhi. He had an extended meeting with the External Affairs Minister where he was briefed about the situation. Both agreed on what is the current situation, what are the options, and what could be a possible way out to turning this difficulty into an opportunity. And that agreement was between the two principals. That said, in such situations, there are very little options. It is not that normal diplomacy can prevail. It is not that there are options of a very other nature that will ensure the safety of those people. Because safety is of paramount interest, the option that is available was utilized by them in consultation with everybody who is involved in this matter. Yes, Padma Rao?
My question pertains to reports in the media that say that, that suggest that the Prime Minister has been invited to come to Berlin from Frankfurt for 2 days at the invitation of German Chancellor Angela Merkel. So my question is, could you confirm that, or has it not been confirmed yet? And second part of the same question is, will the foreign minister be accompanying him, Sushma Swaraj?
I only answer one question, and I will answer the first. It's not the same. As regards the Prime Minister's visit to the BRICS, I have confirmed that Prime Minister will be attending. We've also confirmed that he will not be attending the FIFA World Cup final. You are also aware as seasoned journalists that when you travel transatlantic or to Latin America, it's normal to have a transit halt. A transit halt is what is being planned for. And that's where we are. Now, if in the context of a transit halt, there is a request for any further interaction, at this stage, that has not been decided upon. So where we are in is that A, the Prime Minister will travel to BRICS, B, that there will be a transit halt, both while going and while coming back. It's normal, the 747 will not be able to travel that distance, so there will be transit halts. In previous instances also, these transit halts have been in Germany. That's where we are in terms of the facts. Now, if there is any further development on this, that has not yet been finalized, and I will not be able to confirm to you anything beyond what I have said, because the factual position as it stands today of what dates that transit halt is going to take place is also not finalized. And my understanding is that it is nearer to 14th than to what is being reported. The transit halt is likely to take place nearer to 14th and on the return sector too, rather than what is being reported. Yes.
So he on the way he may go to Germany, but on the way he come back, he will then make a transit in another country?
That is not yet. I understand the import of your question, but I think that is not what is on the table as yet. However, I mean, not being on the table as yet doesn't mean that it could land upon the table. But as of now, as far as I know, that option perhaps is not on the table. These are transit halts, and it has normal practice. Many of you have also traveled on those flights and are aware of those transit halts. Just a minute. Yes, please.
Which transit halt, whether it is Japan or Germany?
You know, I think we are getting into a speculative mode, and I will not go down that route because it's very easy for you to do that, but difficult for me. All I said was there is a usual transit halt when the Prime Minister travels. This has happened several times. It has been in Germany. A team is right now in Germany to address that transit halt. And if there are other issues that arise during as part of this transit halt, and there are other requests that are made, certainly these will be considered. But at this stage, all I can confirm is what I have said. If that is all right, yes, sir.
Is there any information regarding the Sri Lankan Minister G.L. Perry's visit to India, and what about the rest of the fishermen in Sri Lanka?
My understanding is that more than 175 fishermen have been released since the new government came to power. There are a small number of fishermen who are still in custody in Sri Lanka, and our mission is working on that. As regards the visit of the Foreign Minister of External Affairs Minister of Sri Lanka, we are working on that, and it is likely that he would visit this month. Thank you very much. With that, we end this meeting. Thank you.